If you watch my videos, you know that my focus is on minimizing stress and the stressors in your life so that you can deal with stress and its effects in the most effective way. One of the things that I invite you to do is to remember that we live in a physical world. And you may raise an eyebrow as you hear me say that, but let me explain. The reason why I say that is because we are so intertwined with technology in our daily experience that it's easy to spend the entire day or most of your day staring at a screen. And while there's a time and place for that, for example, such as this video, it's important that this is not the only thing that we do in life. There was a time not that long ago when people didn't look at cell phones all day long, where they didn't look at computers all day long, where they didn't look at televisions. There's a time not that long ago where screens of any kind didn't exist. The first opportunity for people to experience screens would have been at a local cinema to go see some kind of a moving picture, right? That's what movies were to begin with. They didn't even have sound to begin with. There was just background music, no speech, simply subtitles. Some of you may know what I'm talking about because you have seen such things, not necessarily because that was part of your then present life experience, but you're aware of what went on back then. But before then, there were no screens. People were living in a physical world, interacting with one another, interacting with nature, dealing with things that came their way. The reason why I want you to remember that world is because, well, one, it's our reality. We live in a physical world. But also, we need a break from the technology. We need some kind of a respite from all of the screens that we stare at, that we play with, that we interact with. We even communicate with one another using screens. And while that's a great technology, anything from platforms or software such as Zoom to FaceTiming with friends and family, it's all great. But it's important that we don't forget to interact with others in real life. And the other interaction that is important that may not necessarily be a big part of the technological revolution is our interaction with the natural world, with nature, being out in nature, whether that means going to a park, going hiking, going to a forest, going to a beach, or even walking around in your city, but you're still in the real world. That could also mean interacting with animals. Maybe you have pets as part of your family, or animals in some capacity in your life. And when you live in the real world, it's much more likely that you will interact with that part of nature, meaning the animals in your life. Why is it so important? Well, because the real world, especially natural settings, so being out in nature and interacting with animals such as pets, for example, has a great deal of benefit to our health, our well-being, our ability to deal with stress. And when we forget to interact with the real world, we don't allow ourselves to have that extra opportunity to deal with stress more productively and to relieve stress from our lives and to work it off. That also means that it's important to interact with other humans in person. And while technology is great for connecting with people, especially when they are far away from us geographically, or when we're all busy and you can't really get together to share a meal or go visit one another. But it's better than nothing to have that face-to-face interaction through technology. So it's not truly face-to-face, but maybe if you're FaceTiming someone or having a Zoom call with someone or something of a similar nature in terms of technology, that's better than nothing. We are social creatures. We have to interact with one another. So while technology is great for connecting us, especially during difficult times or where distance is an issue, we absolutely must connect with each other in person. During the pandemic, there was so much limitation on our interactions with one another in a physical nature. Not only were we not visiting with one another, not doing things with one another, we were encouraged to keep a certain physical distance from others, even if we were in the same physical vicinity. So that has taken a toll on us. That has added to our stress, and it has prevented us from the benefits that come from socializing with other humans, from being in close proximity to others, from that benefit of touch, whether it's a gentle touch on somebody's arm or their shoulder as a way of connecting with one another or maybe reassuring one another, to something like holding hands with that special someone or hugging someone you care about, your friend or your family. Those things are tremendous in terms of the benefits that they provide to us. We thrive when we connect with others and when we have those social interactions and those physical connections. So it's so important that we don't forget to live in that real world, in that physical world, and rely solely on technology for our connections. As wonderful and convenient as technology can be, and we all learned that more than ever during the pandemic, because when everybody was on some kind of a quarantine or shutdown, we could at least connect in that way, and we could conduct business in that way. So that was a saver for us. But let's not allow that to become our way of life, to become our new norm, because there are many, many benefits to being with one another, to having physical contact with one another, to interacting with animals, to being in the presence of nature and the real world. So remember, we live in the physical world, so don't forget to interact with that physical world every single day. And ideally, that should be how you spend most of your day and most of your life, not the other way around, where you're mostly staring at a screen and interacting with a screen and then taking a little break here and there to live in the real world. No, don't let that become your reality. Let the real world be your reality, and then use technology sparingly in comparison to live your life in a way that helps you, but not in the way that takes over your life. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to effective stress management, check out the link below.